Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. Today we're talking about Acer platanoides Walderseei. We're gonna give you some specs on this one, the zones to grow it in, and a little tips to make it look amazing.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun Norway maple you can use in your garden. Guys, we're MrMaple.com. We're a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, and we do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples and other neat rare maples and other rare plants. So check us out on Mr. Maple.
Guys, if you're a fan of Acer pictum niguri nishiki, if you're a fan of Acer pictum usagumo, you might not know about this old treasure, Acer platanoides Walderseei. This one is a variegated white speckled variegation that I find kind of reminiscent of usagumo a little bit. Big leaves, kind of that same creepy style variegation, a really interesting plant. Sometimes in early spring, you get a little bit of pink forming on this one in some of those cooler nights. I absolutely love the speckled white variegation on this gigantic Norway leaf.
Yeah, this makes a good upright tree out in your landscape. I mean, this is a tree that might get 12 to 15 feet in 10 years. So it gets out there faster than a Japanese maple, but it's not a fast growing plant overall. And part of that is due to this extremely amazing variegated leaf.
These are going to work zones 4 through zones 8 and just give you some amazing contrast, especially in that spring garden. Now, typically this one goes from this bright white coloration to a little bit of green right before the fall color, and then a golden yellow in the fall. You can actually see a little bit of that variegation sometimes still in the leaf during that fall color. A really cool plant, and one I think a lot of Japanese maple collectors should be growing because of that larger leaf providing a really unique texture in the landscape.
Acer platanoides are normally just solid green. They're easy to grow all across the United States in that gardening zone of 4 through 8. But the fact that this is white really makes it a more usable tree for the landscape. One, because it's such a variegated plant, this isn't an invasive plant like the straight species Acer platanoides is. So a common Norway maple may be a little more invasive. This one, not. The variegation slows it down. It's not as invasive on producing tons of seed, and it's a slower grower out in the landscape. So it's a beautiful tree and an easy maintenance-free tree for your garden.
Yeah, if you got seeds on this, I want them. It's super cool, it's interesting. This is a unique plant that's gonna add contrast to the maple garden. You know, you could be growing things like tamukiyama around this. That bright white contrasting with that deep maroon is gonna look awesome in the early spring. So even some of your more basic lace leaves are gonna be killer next to this. You can get as creative as you want. Like I said, this can substitute in a lot of places where you'd use niguri nishiki or usagumo. A little faster growing than both of those, so it kind of gets out there a little bit more, but it still gives you that same aesthetic you think of with ukigumo floating cloud, that white speckled floating style variegation. Really lightens up the garden, really gives you some interesting contrast, and it really pairs well with deep evergreen colors as well. So if you have darker evergreen colors, it kind of shows out with that.
I mean, I think this one, sort of like Dr. Brown, has some of the worst names of any maples. If it had a name like White Cloud, just imagine the popularity this Norway maple would have in the garden. I mean, the variegation on this is next level. When you just have just this sort of dusted, almost green over top of the white, because there's more white than there is green, it's so dynamic in the garden. And it gives you that white color out there in the springtime, in the summer. It's a rock star. And it's one of my favorite maples I've ever grown, just because you get such a large leaf with that dusting variegation. I've never seen any reversion on this selection as well. I mean, it's a next level maple to put out there and just add some dynamic color.
Now guys, this one's a simple one to grow. Just like many of the platanoides, this one is durable. A lot of platanoides are used as street trees. This one, if you can give it some late day shade, you can hold that color longer into the summer, but it can handle a good amount of full sun. I mean, we're here in zone 8 right now with this one growing in direct sunlight, and it really doesn't skip a beat. So it's a very durable plant for the most part. You want to make sure it's not in boggy or wet feet. You don't want it in a soggy condition. You want to side it either on a hill or somewhere it's more of a focal point planting typically, because it's going to draw a lot of attention to it. I actually like it even in a crowded garden, you know, providing a little bit of shade for some of the other Japanese maples you may have in your collection and letting those colors kind of play off of it.
I mean, I love some of these cool, rare, interesting plants in section platanoidea. I mean, we've got some truncatums, we've got some really cool ornamental Norway maples. I mean, there's some neat things that people haven't really understood in the ornamental garden because they've not been out there as common as some of the Japanese maples. And I think this fits in most people's Japanese maples garden because of how ornamental the tree is and how big these leaves are. I mean, these leaves are bigger than my hand, and I have huge hands. And this thing here, I mean, those leaves, they're ginormous.
All right, guys, we keep this one in stock a lot on Mr. Maple, so you can always go purchase it right now if it's in stock. If not, sign up to get notified under the Walderseei page. We tend to bring them back on 10 releases. We drop 10, it's actually 20, new trees every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And if you're one of the lucky people who have a Walderseei in your garden, take a snapshot of it. Take a photo with your phone and upload it to our Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. I know a lot of people would enjoy seeing it.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Let us know what zone you're into, where you're at. It's always fun to see people growing these in different areas. You can kind of compare and contrast to get ideas for your own garden. And we really appreciate you tuning in with us today. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe here on the Mr. Maple Show. We put out 7 days a week of maple and gardening related content. Hopefully you'll learn something about this today, or you'll find a new video that really is informative and fits exactly what you're looking for.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.